Still is having an attitude. You can probably hear. She's going to probably have an attitude while I'm talking. But I told her, I'm finishing what I'm doing. I'm not just your slave. Oh my gosh. And plus, keeping me up all night. I feel bad for her. I know she's in pain, but she's very dramatic about everything. And, I was doing my taping and she's back there crying in my room, like, like I'm supposed to come pick her up. Like, just get down and come out here. Like, what? And then she comes out, goes over to her dish like, I want a little food. I'm finishing what I'm doing. Before I go into the next phase of, taking care of her. She would have it all day long. She's like the queen of the house. I'm her slave or whatever, Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that. And anybody who comes around me is always like, oh my God, you got to quit babying her. But it's hard because she's my baby and I love her, but she does drive me crazy. Anyways, this morning, I'm not going to go off on the medical thing again, but, one thing that I have seen, one thing that I have seen though is, people just want to believe in whatever the doctors say. They would give them a diagnosis. They're just like, oh, thank you. Even if it's well, I think possibly, maybe. And I even looked it up yesterday because they're still pushing this syphilis situation. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so ridiculous. And but it's not the VD syphilis. It's just this weird brain virus syphilis. So I went and looked it up. Bullshit. It's the fucking VD syphilis that goes into a brain thing. And this is something like Al Capone died of, I mean, this is like, we've come a little ways from there. I doubt very seriously there's a lot of grown men dying of syphilis right now. But, they can't mention that. You can't go in and have the doctors talk about that. Like, there's administrative protocols, There's a script you have to go by. You can't say. That's why I said most of the doctors working are on script. They're not on integrity. They're working by what they're told to say. And it's a narrative. It's a narrative to lead us all into the gas chambers. I'll tell you that. Okay, drama queen, just wait a minute, okay? She wouldn't take her medicine last night either. She's just having an attitude. It's so cute to watch her think. Anyways, but what people are, they're just excited to whatever the doctor says is what it is. The doctor says this, so that's what it is. The doctor says maybe it's this, so that must be. And I'm like, no, we want evidence. No, you want facts. You don't want like, well, maybe, I think it could be. We're going to send you to a specialist. That's all they do. That is all they motherfucking do is pass people on. And people are a number. You're not a patient. You're patient 003274. That's what you are to them. You're just a number. You mean nothing. What is important is the beast, feeding the beast, and being able to the people that are parasites on the beast. They need to survive, so they're going to do whatever it takes to survive. So if that's lie to you, so that they can get a paycheck, well, they got bills to pay. They got to do what they got to do, right? That's something they get to face in themselves. Because everything that's happening, this whole collapse of every single thing that's going on, it's all the tentacles being cut off of the beast, The beast, the infiltration, is in every area of our lives. And it is the tentacles of this beast that is invaded in our lives. And I've talked about this so many times, and it is the parasites that are, it's like, if you think about it, parasites is consciousness. It's very, it's dependent. It is, it hasn't reached this point of freedom and sovereignty. It's very dependent on this system. And, something's tickling my eye. It's very dependent on this system, and survival. So it doesn't really understand how to survive yet because it's so focused on what is keeping it alive that it's not seeing past that. Just like I said, people think because they don't see the supernatural that it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist for you because you don't believe it. So you don't see it. You only see what you believe. Everything is a projection of self. It's what you see. It's what you believe. And you have to open yourself up to more what's out there instead of just the narrative of what they tell you to believe. Because everything is structured about how they want us to look at things. And another thing too. I was watching this morning this I don't know how to say it. I think it's like Kwa Gong or something like that. I've talked about it before as I had turned it on before. And it was like some monks doing these stretches in these early morning, like centering through stretches and movement and breathing. Oh, I have this, I'm very moly. And this one mole on my back, I somehow scratched it off. And now it's like, not scratched it off, like if you have a lot of moles, like you scratch chunks out of them or something in there. Anyways, so the movements and the breathing and stuff I had talked about before that when I was just tuning into myself, like I'm here by myself. There's been people here, but mostly I'm by myself. And so I don't have to worry about eyes on me. I can just go in and feel myself, be directed by my internal. So I can really get in touch with myself, which a lot of people have a hard time doing because there's so much distraction. There's drama, there's distraction, there's other people, like there's just so much. And it's a gift when you can go in and really tune into what's your internal, to your soul. And, it's a self-discovery, no doubt about that. But one of the things that I had noticed is like, I was already doing those things naturally. What he was showing, it is like, I believe it's naturally maybe it's not on everybody's imprint, but, I believe it's in a lot of people's natural imprint. And, when you think about a soul journey and, because to me, when I think about mine and the different lives and stuff, mine has been very focused on spiritual in a lot of lives. So that could be a part of my imprint of, remembering to go back in and do those. I probably lived a life as a monk or something. I have a strong connection to the Asian kind of like Eastern like lifestyle or metaphysical or whatever you want to call it, like the difference in the Eastern and the Western. Like they have a different philosophy, a different way of looking at things. Like I read the Buddha Bible and I was like, this makes sense. The other one doesn't make sense to me. The other one seems like it's all just lies and manipulation. Like I said, it's like The Village. You use that book to create the village so that they can control people with fear. But anyways, when I feel like you have a lot of stuff in your imprint already, when you just connect with yourself, you'll find it naturally just comes. Like there's people who have been doing like light language and stuff like that. Like they didn't go in and try and learn it. They just tuned into themselves and it started coming out of them. So there's so much about tuning into yourself, and it's such a beautiful experience when you can pull free from that system. And so many people are so sucked onto it, and it's crumbling. It's crashing, and there's not going to be a system to hold on to. So you're going to be out there having to face yourself and having to face neighbors and friends, and everybody's going to be revealed to their deepest core of who they are and what they are. And that's not so you can be, humiliated or made fun of. It is so you can face yourself. And so you can look at yourself and you can see the broken parts of yourself so you can fix them. You can fix them the way you want to fix them, not the way that this world has tried to convince you that you need to conform to participate in their reality. It has all been about that very controlled tyranny and manipulation of our mind and stuff like that. But when you pull free from it and you can recognize it, it is, you get so much more in touch with your soul, and your soul starts guiding you. And those stretches and stuff, and tuning into your body and movement and breathing, it is good for you. It is relaxing. It does help you to feel centered, and it builds muscles. Like, I have gotten muscles by doing it. Like, it's kind of a lot like yoga too. Like, if you mix in some different kind of stretches, and it's a lot with yoga and just movement and breathing. And but I also like yin yoga, where you hold the pose for a while, just really relax into the pose and let all your muscles really stretch. Anyways, those are all things that I think are, better ways to take care of ourselves. Like, I think going out and jogging 10 miles is really hard on your body, and, it's kind of tearing it up. When I think, the two, I've got so many different things. Like, well, let me just say this one before I forget it too, is I was thinking about the English thing, about the different people and the different languages. Because when I was watching that guy do those stretches and stuff, it was in translation. He was, I don't know, Japanese or Chinese or Korean or whatever. Somebody from over in Asia. I don't know all the different dialects, I can know the different dialects here in my own country. I can say, oh, they're from New York, oh, they're from Boston, oh, they're from Florida, oh, they're from Texas, or from Colorado. You can tell, like, when people are talking, if they've lived somewhere for a long time. Like, I'm one of those people who lived in a whole bunch of different places, so I've got a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But anyways, the thing about English is, I was thinking, because there's all these other places, and they have their own language. And even if you say, could you translate this? They're always like, well, we don't really have something that says that. So we could say it this way, but it's a little bit different. And the whole thing is, I think that the English language, and the reason why it's in specific places, that they have used it to manipulate us with the words, because they've got to train us into conforming into, this society that they can lead around like sheep, so, it's been to repress us, the whole time. So they use the English language to manipulate us with words and stuff, and why they use so much with the confusion of words. And these words spell the same, they mean different things. These words, all of their ridiculousness. And if you notice, as these realities have been separating, that you can talk to somebody and you can say words, but they hear them different than how you say them. You say them a certain way with a certain intent, and they hear them a completely different way. And that is so, it's the word, the words are like a separate entity or something. They are like a spell. They aren't our words. Like, we are speaking using someone else's words to communicate, and it's being misunderstood, but it's all part of their same kind of thing to keep us divided. So I think there's such a manipulation with the language. I know I've talked about this so many times, but anyways, I just keep seeing it more and more, and how and how they want to move that's one of the reasons why they try and push us. I mean, they act like it's us, like we're all sitting around oh, they're speaking a different language, fuck you, speak English. No, I swear to God, when any time that has even happened, I bet you it was a plant. They paid the person to go on, be on a bus, yell at somebody for talking their own language, and having somebody there with a camera to catch it so they can leak it on TMZ, so that they can say, see, this is what our society has become. They're a bunch of racists. They just want everybody to be like them and stuff. It's all bullshit. It's all manipulation. I don't know anybody who's like that. I don't know anybody who thinks everybody needs to. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who think, well, if you don't do this, then you're not with me. If you don't do this, then you're against everybody, all of that kind of nonsense. But all of that is being exposed. I mean, it's coming in hot, that's for sure. And it just blows my mind because, like, when I'm talking to them about the whole hospital thing and stuff, and I'm like, no, you need to have evidence. You got to have them. They have to give you cold, hard facts, not just like, I think, maybe, possibly. Bullshit. You goddamn had a fucking seizure. You could have fucking died. You are unconscious. You have another seizure a little while later at the hospital when you first get there. That's serious. I worked on the neuro floor. I worked in the ER. They're trying to... And plus, when they know, like, don't fucking tell me they don't know. They know. When they've got 100,000 goddamn people having the same fucking thing, they fucking know. And I tried to tell my family, like, to get them to think, like, okay, what if there's a toxin? What if there's a toxin in the water? What if they have 100 patients right now with the same thing? They're not going to come into the room and say, hey, by the way, we got a lot of people here with the same thing. Isn't that crazy? No, they don't do that at all. They're not going to tell you. They're going to go call the Center of Disease Control and tell them, because they got all of these little 3-letter agencies. They just pass the buck. Oh, here, you take it. Here, you take it. And then, they got the cover-ups. They got, it's just, it is such a fucking, I mean, when you just get your head wrapped around that we're being ran by, the like mafia, it's the same kind of thing. It's the same way that they run, whatever they run, this is how the world's being run. Because it is just a gangster kind of world they created. They're all out for themselves and lying and stuff. And then there's so many people who participate. They become liars and cheats and skanks because the world is that way. So, hey, I can fit into that. Why? Why do you want to fit into that? Why do you want to be like that? Why do you want to be a scumbag like these people? Well, because you're going to have to face yourself at some point. And, the deeper you get yourself in a hole, the more you're going to have to, it's a lot to face. A lot of people are not going to be able to like it. And they're not going to be able to handle seeing themselves clearly and being exposed in the way they're going to be exposed. And it's going to be a lot for a lot of people. And that's where you have to go inside. You have to find your inner strength, because the world's not here to give you strength. Your strength's on the inside. You've got to bring it forward. You've got to find your survival. You got to find your, what is that word? Find your resilience. And, you've got to march to your own drummer. You've got to find your own place. You got to accept yourself and, move forward and feeling good with yourself. And there's just so many people who just have such a hard time with that. It's like people go out dancing and they can't let themselves be free. They got one eye open looking to see what other people think of them. Are they looking at me? Are they judging? Are they making faces at me? Why? Who do you care? Why do you care? If they're standing on the sidelines, they're not even in touch with their soul. You're out there dancing and you're in touch with yourself. You are going to stand out. Yeah, you're going to get stared at. People are going to be watching you because they all want to feel that. They all want to feel it, because you don't just see a person out there dancing. You see a person out there connected to their soul. If they see a person dancing and looking foolish, that's in them. It's their disconnect. It's their disconnect from themselves. Most people look at that and go, oh man, I want to go out and do that. Why do I care about what other people think? It's just something that it's a part of the process. It's a part of, a person's growth to get to a point of acceptance that you're not worried about if other people are accepting you, because you are here to experience. Another thing too, when I was a kid, and, I was talking about, it was pretty out of control. I had a hard time, as a child. And then, when I got to be a teenager, it was the 70s too. Like, there was drugs everywhere. And I was one of those people out doing drugs and having fun and, living life. And I always, as a child, would think, this is this life is like a book. it's different chapters. It's a lot of different chapters. It's not going to be just one book you read straight through. It's going to be chapters, and I want the chapters to be standalone chapters. I want them to be interesting. I want them to be exciting. I want to live my life to the fullest. I want to feel and experience. And, so I didn't ever be hard on myself about any of that kind of stuff. In my dark night, it wasn't like that kind of stuff where I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. None of that. None of the things that were the harder things to get over is when you think like you were with this person and the relationship sucks and it's all their fault. And if they would have been better, then the relationship would have been better. That's the stuff that you go into and you have to see yourself. You just see, like, the gaslighting book really helped me. There's probably a lot of books about gaslighting. This one was green. It had red writing on it and said gaslighting. I think I've passed it on to somebody else at this point. But it was so, oh my God, it was so helpful for me to be able to see myself, because you can't be gaslighted unless you're participating. You were playing a part. And I started seeing like, oh, I was playing a part in all of these relationships. I was allowing myself to be treated this way. I was playing the victim. And I was not strong enough in myself to stand up for myself, or whatever the case may be. Like I said, it was always like on someone else's playlist. I wasn't, on my own. It was just trying to survive somebody else's life. Like I was in these experiences. It's like those chapters, it was like I was the observer almost, It wasn't just me being my true self. There was parts of being my true self, there was moments of being my true self, of course, but fully 100%, I was always trying to please somebody else, trying to make someone else happy, not myself. That would have been selfish. That would have been egotistical. That would have been, all of this stuff that they tell you to focus on yourself. Just like the same thing with the manipulation. If you want to be healthy and you want to be fit and you want to take care of yourself, well then, you're obsessed, you hate fat people, they come up with every fucking word to keep us locked into what they want. And then they want us to be overweight, unhealthy, and willing to line up for whatever the next magic pill is. And, the commercials right now, oh my God. It's just like, oh my God, how many freaking pills do I have to watch a commercial for? And they always have them like some sort of damn music video, They've got the people coming on like, my life is so great. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm just the happiest person in the world. I just take this little pill and it makes me happy. Like, oh, okay. I need to be happy. I need to feel like that. I'm going to go get that pill. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to talk to my doctor. It's like, oh my God. But that's what, that's how they've corralled us. They've given us our hope is a goddamn pill. No, our hope is not a pill. They're crashing no matter what. The tentacles of the beast are being cut off. Maybe a slow grind, like they're using nail files to cut off. That's what it feels like, oh my God, how long can this go on? Oh my God, how long can they pretend that they have money? How long can they pretend they have power? Like, what the hell? I mean, it's crazy. It's so crazy, that they're able to completely create this fake reality, this CGI. Like I was talking to my mom and I said, I bet you, all this Joe's in the news every fucking day about this. Like he's gone in and he's taken out this CGI ISIS person. We've never heard of this person, but oh, thank you, God, Joe. You're just right in there for us. I was like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? The guy can barely even eat pudding. He probably chokes on it. The guy, and who knows? I swear to God, I feel like at this point that maybe they've just gone down to a nursing home and pulled out some Alzheimer's people and just put the mask on and say, okay, no, walk down the street over there. Just walk. If people talk to you, just wave and say, whatever. It's Halloween. They got these bumbling Alzheimer's people just walking around, blah, in Joe mask. Because, the real Joe's gone. I don't know how long we have to carry on, but this fake fucking world. But yeah, that is just so crazy too when people can't see it. Like people don't, I mean, I saw, every person, like if you go and you get their old pictures and you look at the new pictures of them, they're not the same damn person. It's nutty. And you know, when I was watching that movie the other day, the Stepford Wives, the old one, not the Nicole Kidman one, isn't she in that one too? Because that's another thing. Is, you know, they just promote these fucking, they pick certain people like Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, and you know, you find out what those people do on the side. It's fucking disgusting. And they but they get promoted. Oh, they get all the best parts. They get the best parts because, oh, they're so good, they're so good, they get the best parts. Bullshit. You get the best parts because they are fucking put into a position to lead us down a path so that we will idolize them and do what they fucking say. That's the whole fucking point of the whole goddamn thing. That is why the government puts so fucking much money into Hollywood studios and stuff, because it's used to manipulate us, to lead us down a path. And you know, it's just aggravating. And I'm just going on it one thing after another. See, there's no, I can't, it's hard sometimes to put it in a bunch of different things because it's all fucking linked. It's all together. Oh, the Stepford Wives. So when I was watching it the other day, the old one, then, oh, Nicole Kidman, she's right up there too. I mean, look at all of her parts and her freaking plastic face and stuff. So, the Stepford Wives thing, you know, at first when I thought it was the water, because but they did disclose, you know, that there was government was being caught poisoning the water and in certain places to keep the people docile. I'm telling you, they have fucking, we're all petri dishes, every fucking one of us, every little community. That's what they treat us like, an experiment. And, so they did talk about that. But then at the end, when they show that it's really clones, I don't even remember in the new one how they do it. I don't know if they would have even shown that it was clones. It would have been in a way to make us think like, oh, that's crazy movie stuff. But really, it's just disclosing, you know, what these people do. And it is, this world is so fucking fake, and they're so much more highly sophisticated technologically than we even have any comprehension of. And that's the exciting part too, is when they are taken down, you know, it is gonna be a quantum leap. Even though it's going into a quantum system, but it is going to be a quantum leap from the dark ages into, you know, the new age of the Jetsons. So, you know, and it is just this, you know, knowing what's to come, knowing that we have something great ahead of us, but still having to watch as they, you know, pull the decaying off the parasite and saw the tentacles off with a nail file. But it's coming, you know. Things have to move in a certain direction. Things are always changing. Nothing stays the same. And that's why, you know, you shouldn't, even if you get to that point when you are trying to face yourself and you feel exposed, you feel dirty, you feel disgusted with yourself, and it just seems like, oh my God, I can't believe I was this person. Oh, and most people are going to feel that. You know, that's part of the facing your shadow side, is that side of you that you don't want to think exists, but it does. But it's the side that you need to heal. It's the side that carries your pain, carries your trauma, that holds you back as a soul in your soul's journey. So you need to clear up the old garbage, you know. So just remember, if you are getting into that place of having to face yourself and it's hard and stuff, you don't ever want to just go and be like, oh, this is too much. You know, I'm exposed. I'm not, you know, don't go killing yourself. You don't ever want to take a permanent solution to a temporary situation. Every situation is temporary. Every situation is fluid and moving. So wherever you are on that part of the journey, then, you know, it's moving. You're not going to be stuck there, even though it feels like we're so stuck. Feels like we're stuck, that's for sure. But it is, it's really important to to just keep that in your logical headspace. You know, you don't want to take a permanent solution to a temporary problem, because you want to go through it, because at the end it's like a gold medal. You know, it's a gold medal of completion. Like, I fucking healed myself. I fucking, you know, and I feel good. And I'm saying this stuff because I did it. I did it. I wasn't some fucking great person, you know. I was a troubled person, just like everybody else. And, you know, and I had to go in. I had to face myself. I had to heal. And it was hard. Super, super hard. I was super suicidal. But I knew to reach out to people, you know. I knew to reach out. And I also know that when you are getting these messages really coming in hard, that you've got to tell the negative energy to back the fuck off. Get out of your fucking space and pull the positive energy in. And you can do that by turning on happy music, you know, dancing, singing. Find some joy in yourself. That will pull that energy down to you, and it will help support you to bring you up. But yeah, it's up to you. You just go and sit in the dark and turn on depressing songs and sad movies and stuff. You're just living in your pain, you know. You're just you're living in suffering. And you got to, if you want to move out of that energy, it's up to you to release what pains you. Release the whole thing. And the reason I think so many people hold on, it's not just necessarily that they want to just blame this other person or whatever, you know, and hold their anger. It's something they don't want to face in themselves. They don't want to look at themselves and think, why? What in me? What did I do? How did I, you know, what was I allowing? What was my role? What was my part? That's the thing that people don't want to look at. They don't want to see themselves because they're scared of themselves. They're scared of what they're going to see, because they can feel like, you know I'm not perfect. I know I got a dark side. We all do. So, you know, they're scared of that. They're scared of themselves. And when you can get yourself to that place to be able to come into union with yourself, you know, it's the two parts coming in balance. It's the good side of you and the bad side come into balance. And that is where you become centered. That is where you come into touch with your soul, you know. So it's all about this finding your balance. And nobody's balance is the same. You know, you can't go and go, oh, this makes her feel balanced, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do what she does. No, it's tuning into yourself to find your balance, because this is all about you. This is about you getting in touch with you. This is, each soul is becoming sovereign. You know, we're no longer, and when we become sovereign, we become a collective of sovereign beings. You know, we're no longer this like ant race, you know, like this ant hill where we're all just like, trying to survive, you know, getting trampled and stuff like that. No, you know, we're going to move into a position of healed collective where we are connected and we feel unified. But it starts here. You can't be broken and then connect in a healed position. You have to heal yourself. Then you can connect into a healed position. And all I know is that, you know, you can have a lot of pain, a lot of dark stuff inside of you. And then when you bring it to the surface and you release it, you start to feel so much better. And that is my testimony, is the being able to heal myself, and heal myself using my connection to the spiritual realm to heal me and my old wounds, to get myself to a place where I feel connected and happy and loving life, and everything seems so great. You know, and this, I mean, when you can be living in hell, when you can be living in hell and still feel happy and good, then you know you're making progress, you know, because I don't believe there's a lower place that a soul can go from here. I believe this is the lowest place you can go, because it is the beginning of our lessons. It's the beginning in the 3-dimensional of learning who you are. So you have to experience yourself. And that is what all of the life incarnations in the 3-dimensional is about, so that you can learn about yourself, so you can figure out who you are. And, you know, so it's not, it's meant to be a playground. It's meant to be a place a safe place where you can go and understand yourself. But, with the way that they have taught us, we're just really hard on ourselves. And that's part of the reprogramming yourself into accepting yourself. And then when you can reprogram yourself and accept yourself, that's when you start accepting everyone else. But you can't go around and think, well, I'm going to accept you. I'm going to accept you. But you don't accept yourself. It just won't work. It's words. It's just a bunch of words. So, and that's all manipulation. We know that for sure. The words are used to manipulate us. So anyways, that's my whole thing. And I talk about it all the time and stuff. But there's so much that people have to, start learning as they're pulling free. And I just still see so much compliance, especially medical, government, all of these things, and it is like this decayed, it's like a plane crash, it's all decayed and it's all broken. And you still have people over there worshiping it like, oh, come on, and I don't know what, things just continue to play out. It's just what we just are witnessing. So it's going to continue to play out and we're going to continue to witness it. And I just hope that they hurry and get through these tentacles so that we can move into the new world and move into a new space of being. Because, I'm living happy. I'm living okay. I'm a happy person and stuff. But life will be a lot better when I'm surrounded by other happy people. And I miss certain things. I miss going out and dancing in certain restaurants that we would go to and, have some fish tacos and then bands would come out and play and dance. And, I love that atmosphere and I miss it. I miss it a lot. And this, it's not going to ever go back to that. That was it. That was over. Those times, it's going to go into different times when things open back up. It's going to be different. And, hopefully there's going to be a lot of places that survive. I don't know. In all of the different places, I know in Seattle, it's decayed. It's dead. And, I'm sure there's a lot of big cities, but that is part of, what has to happen because it's their constructs that have to be destroyed. So I think there's definitely going to be restaurants. There's definitely going to be music and dancing, but it's going to be different. I just feel like it's going to be a lot more I just feel like if you go back and you watch how things used to be before, TVs, if you go and you think back to that, of how people used to interact and how they used to come together, I think it's going to go back to that kind of way of being, like, yeah, there'll be music, maybe there'll be some square dancing, I don't know, but there will definitely be big gatherings where, food trucks and artisans and storytellers and music and just all of those kinds of things are going to be bringing people together. And we're all, ready for it. We're all ready to get back and socialize and be together. And, it's going to be, it's a lot to think about. Like, those things are gone. Our times that we had that we didn't even know, that we needed to appreciate them. But that's all the process of death. That is why death occurs. And this is a death of an old life, a death of an old existence, an old paradigm. And it has to cease to exist, and we have to let it. And we have to just remember the good times and focus on what's to come. So have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.